I mean, look, they're being strict for a reason. We go back to the start line. Is of course this young man, a very handsome young man, and it goes under the name of Ollie Evans. Of course, he was the 2019 British champion. Comes firing down in his S14.5 tidy line. Looked like he came off throttle very early. Looked like that the track wasn't as grippy as what Evans expected. Now he starts to get into it. Big angle transition from Evans as he fires that car into Luna, just about holds onto it. Evans going for it now, starting to step it up a little bit. You can see the front of that car lifting up with a big clutch kicks as he puts hammer to floor, winds on the angle, and Evans brings it across the line.
So 2019 champion, obviously we took a year out, didn't we, last year? So he's obviously looking to try and retain that championship potentially here as, you know, in the UK Drift Championship, so to speak. Yeah,
he certainly is. And we wait for the score. Judges liking it. So a 71.3 there for Evans. Work to be done. I mean, I say work to be done. We're splitting hairs here, Monty. We're splitting hairs here. Over halfway now, we move it to Ollie Evans. Ollie Evans looked tentative. He fired that car on his first qualifying run. Looked like the car washed. It wasn't going to react how he wanted it to. Oh, and Edwards does it again. Evans does it again as he looks unsettled. Sacrifices outside zone 3. It just looks like that car doesn't want to grip as he fires it down the hill. Evans back on it though, trying to make amends of that mistake at the beginning of that qualifying run. And Evans fires that car deep into outside zone 9 and 10. I don't know if that's enough. That mistake, it just looks, the car just washes very strangely.
What is it you think that's happening that's causing that? Do you think it's tyre temperature, the way that the suspension is set up? These cars run a lot of camber, don't they, on the front wheels?
So a 78.7, he does improve ever so slightly, but for me, I'm not sure. There could be a lot going on down there. Don't forget, that's off camber. You're going downhill carrying a lot of speed. Who knows? Everyone else seems to be making it work. What is Evans doing that no one else is doing?
I said we're going to see Ollie Evans up against Mark Chapman. Ollie Evans, a driver that people were talking about in 2019. Is that right?
He certainly was. He came out of nowhere, won the championship, and has been making a name for himself ever since. Created a pretty good YouTube channel and has been building an incredible car in the background. Unfortunately, that car not ready for this weekend, so he said, I'm going to get old Trusty out the shed and see what she can do. Right now, birthday boy Mark Chapman tries to stick it with the former British champion. Ollie Evans gets himself set up nicely there on Luna as Chapman stares in the background and says, I just can't match the pace from the young Welshman.
Yeah, Ollie Evans making old Trusty work well for him there on that first run, and we'll wait and see as they shoot back round at speed, because these guys obviously want to try and keep as much temperature in the tyres, etc., and obviously get back on that start line. They're eager to be doing battle. They want to be running around at speed, because these guys obviously want to try and keep as much temperature in the tyres, etc., and obviously get back on that start line. They're eager to be doing battle. They want to be running these battles, and you know, sometimes we're going to have to try and slow these guys down a little bit. They get a little bit too eager in. So they're going to run round now back to the start line. Just watching there to see them. Yep, they've both gone round. No one's diving into the pits for a 5-minute rule or anything like that. And that can happen here.
Yeah, it certainly can. Look, these guys put these cars under an immense amount of stress, and you know, when they get to a limit, they sometimes break. And I say they break a lot, Monty. To be honest with you, they break a lot. And these guys, yeah, they will call a 5-minute rule. What's a 5-minute rule? Well, once they get back to their pit area, they have 5 minutes to repair that car and get back out on track. So we are swapped around. It is time now for Mark Chapman to lead, Ollie Evans to give chase, and the birthday boy says, well, one more stick at this. I just couldn't hang with Evans in the chase. What can I give him in the lead? As a little left foot brake comes into play there for Mark Chapman, but that's only going to help out Ollie Evans as it opens the door. Oh, wheels up in the lead position across the curve from Mark Chapman. Evans onto the door. He goes off. Shallows up though. Evans has to think about it and hold out as he transitions way earlier than Chapman. Now Evans starts to reel in. Chapman looking for a little tap on the door, a little love tap. Oh, big angle. Big angle.
Oh, I tell you, there was certainly some aggression there from Ollie Evans on that run. He was making sure that he was right up close and personal. Like I say, a little love tap there. You know, the question was, how are the judges going to look at it? Obviously, the proximity from Ollie there was obviously brilliant up against Mark Chapman. But Mark Chapman, he held his own there, and he led that lead line nicely.
Yeah, he certainly did. And we're waiting for the judges to finish discussing this one. And our marshal will give us the signal. I think this is going to come down to proximity, Monty. I think this is going to come down to Ollie Evans just absolutely being all over the side of Mark Chapman and Mark Chapman not being able to do anything in it. Oh, and it's a one more time. It's going to be a one more time. Well, we're going to have to go to James, our head judge. James, too tough to call. What done it for you?
Okay, so in the first run, we had Mark, little bit aggressive, but had a reasonable chase against Ollie. But given that the chase car should have really a 6-4 advantage, so the chase position should give you a natural advantage, but he didn't. So we had him even on the first run. On the second run, Ollie was definitely all over him, was doing really well, but threw it away as he was going into Luna. He kind of threw it away, gained proximity from an error. So any gain he'd got, he gave away. Then kept it, fair enough, but it was from an error to begin with. So back to 5-all. I want to see a clean run. I want to judge him on the best performance.
So there we go, and no fairer word spoken. You know, clean battles is what we want. We give the thumbs up all round. Oliver Evans sits on the line to lead Mark Chapman. And Evans, the 2019 Pro Champion, he would have said, what is this all about? How can Mark Chapman, the birthday boy, think that he's going to get a piece of the cake? Not today. Evans fires it into outside zone 3, through the chicane he comes. Now Evans has turned up the heat. Look at this from Evans. He's really turned it up. He would have gone to the team and said, give me more grip, give me the grippiest tyres we've got on wheels. I want to drive away from Chapman. And Mark Chapman would have said, well, I'd had everything in the bag last time. There's nothing else I can throw at it. As once again he watches Evans drive away.
Yeah, so the question will be, as they go back round now to that final judge run, we won't see one more time here. The question will be, is Ollie Evans going to steal the thunder from the birthday boy? Is Ollie Evans going to blow the candles out?
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
I like that. I like that. I like your little.
That was, you know, you gave me the thought.
Yeah, I gave you the thought. You know, I give you the cake.
It's a cake, and
there's
then
the cake, and then you ate it.
Do you know what? Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, look at this. Let's take a look back at the replay. And yeah, Evans definitely turned this car up to 11. He went in the pits and said, "I'm not having none of this. I'm going to drive away from Mark Chapman more than what I drove away from him in my first lead." And yeah, it really worked out. And now I know Evans is gonna seal the deal. He's gonna say, look, the only way for me to really win this is by absolutely gluing at that S50 14.5.
But anything can happen in drifting, Ian, and we've seen it go wrong so far today with a few drivers that went chasing, but we're going to see what happens now in this run.
Here we go, Chapman to lead him in, Evans to give chase. Evans is going to want to stick it to the door, and he starts to already hunt down the side of Mark Chapman's Matt Motorsport E30 Touring. Gives him some room to transition through the chicanes as Chapman takes a shallow line. He's trying to drive away. Look at the dive from Evans as he goes for the door. And the Welshman now thinks about it, holds off for a second, dials a little bit more angle, and waits for the opportunity to jump onto the back bumper. And here he comes as Chapman straightens ever so slightly.
Ooh, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the judges face that, because obviously there was a big straight in there from Ollie Evans. Let's wait and see.
Well, start line know, and the judges know what the decision is. We wait for our marshal to drop the flag, who's taking it through to the top 16. Oh, and there we go. Evans gets the win and advances through. Chapman, the birthday boy's out. And yeah, as you rightly said, Evans blew the candles out today.
I'm sure Mark will be into the pits there, and he'll remain the rest of the afternoon watching what unfolds here at the UK Drift Championship at Three Sisters. Up in Wigan, the sunshine is shining.
So we go back to the one more time.
I think we will see Ollie Evans against Stefanoff. So Ollie Evans, 2019, had the best year of his life, and he's going to throw it into that first corner, Ian.
Certainly is. Look at this. Evans fires down into the outside zone. Stefanoff holds on to it. Evans angry after that one more time earlier today. He said, that's not what it's all about. Oh, Stefanoff very wide. Goes across the curbs. Looked like Stefanoff was going to spear through the side of Oliver Evans' S14.5, and Stefanoff shuts it down. Evans puts foot to floor and smokes out Three Sisters race circuit.
Yeah, Stefanoff has been struggling there slightly in relating to that car. He had a little bit of an incident during practice where he did throw it off circuit and caused a bit of damage, with a bit of help from some of his fellow competitors and those other teams around there as well in the pits. They managed to get that car rebuilt and obviously making it in to the top 16 so far. He's had a hard weekend, that car, so far.
Yeah, it certainly has had a hard weekend so far, and you know, hats off to Stefan Stefanoff's crew for getting that car back out and working and performing. Oliver Evans makes his way back around to the start line.
Yep.
Spotters would have been on the radio, Monty saying to him, well, you kind of got this one in the bag.
Yeah, but sometimes we've seen it happen before. Anything can happen in drifting. It's something that we've said many, many times. The nerves get the better of you. And, you know, all of a sudden you could have a 10-0 advantage and throw it all away.
You certainly could. Well, they're back on the line. They are ready to rock and roll. Stefanoff to lead. Oliver Evans to give chase. And as I said, Oliver Evans been on the radio and been told, don't go too mad. Stefanoff threw it away. You need to keep your cool. But Oliver Evans isn't that kind of guy. Oh,
and he backs out again.
And Evans takes a cheeky little overtake. Oh, and Evans goes to park it almost on the inside of Luna.
Oh, how Ollie Evans avoided a collision there right into the back as Stefanoff just completely backed out and aborted the runs. Possibly something wrong with that car. Stefanoff's not the sort of person to back out, but yeah, I suspect that we will receive the judge's decision. And
I mean, it's pretty simple, that one, Martin. It's pretty.
Ollie Evans, that was close.
It was the cheeky overtake for me. Like, oh well, you've broken down, so I'm just gonna overtake you and keep going. There we go. It's official. Oliver Evans gets the win and advances through into the Great 8, and we are getting through these thick and fast.
So effectively, it's going to be the final battle that we get to see.
Maybe, yeah. We get back to the start line. It will be Luke Barker to take on Oliver Evans, and Oliver Evans knows he wants to take down Barker. These two are at it like cats and dogs all season normally, and Barker goes for the wide, shallow line. As Oliver Evans waits for the transition, I held my breath there for a second as Evans fired that car in. Barker once again shallows up the angle just to try and drive away from Evans, but Evans in the cloud of smoke right behind him.
Very aggressive chase run there from Ollie Evans, though, and he put it on the door and he had to just back off a little bit through Luna. But you can see from the replay, he was fully committed to getting on the door of Luke Barker. Luke Barker was just trying to hold his own there and just continue on the line. But Ollie Evans putting in a great run right through that middle section. And then it's just about now that he kind of really makes a big dive, as you can see, closing that gap, and then just on the transition, closes the door altogether and says, right, I'm here, I'm on your door, mate.
Yeah, incredible driving there from Oliver Evans. Look at that, all up on the side. But then this is where Barker really, these cars just ups and goes. You can see look, Evans shallows out the angle, trying to stay with Barker, but Barker foot to the floor, pulls away, pulls a decent gap on Evans. Now Evans pulls up into the lead position. Barker to give chase. We haven't seen the best from Luke Barker in that chase position yet. He's been making a lot of mistakes. Can he hold on to it? Well, they're off the line, ready to go. Screaming through the gears. Oliver Evans fires down into outside zone one. That front wheel almost lifted off the tarmac. He's dialed that much grip into the car. Barker waits. Oh, and Evans shallows up massively there. Can't off throttle for a very, very long time. Flying down through the straight. Into Luna they go. As Luke Barker waits for the transition, gets it done perfectly, but there's no proximity in it. No proximity from Luke Barker at the moment. Can he make a dive up to the door? He's going to try it. On the bumper he goes of Oliver Evans' S14.
Too close to call here. What a fantastic run from both of those drivers. The proximity of Ollie Evans in the first run just seems to outweigh a little bit what Luke Barker had to play in the second run, but obviously Luke Barker, he kept a consistent gap.
Well,
it
looks
was online, so
like the decision's in, and there we go. Luke Barker gets the win. Barker gets the win and advances through to the final four. And Evans screams off the line in disgust.